This is Sony's flagship Echo Coin HDA8000, and this is Sony's pinnacle flagship Echo Coin HDA9000. When they meet a Samsung HWQ990F of the same level, what kind of sparks will be rubbed with JBL 81300 MKII? In this video, we will face off against each other. The Sony 8000 will go head-to-head against the Samsung HWQ990F Sony A9000. Who has the more shocking tone against the JPO 8-1300 MKII? The blade is more three-dimensional. Let's wait and see. In this video, we will test the actual sound effect from paper parameters. Take a look at Sony's two flagship mix coins with a comprehensive analysis of functional experience. Whether it can withstand the impact of the other two response coins, take you to uncover the true strength of the A8000 and A9000. Before the official evaluation, let me first give myself some buffs to the views of this video. For my own personal subjective opinion, we will evaluate in a fair manner, and the test data behind, since it is not in a professional recording space. Therefore, the data results are for reference only. If it differs from your opinion, then take what you see as correct. Since the protagonist of this video is Sony Group Photo Coins, so let's talk about some related content of Sony Group Photo Coins separately. Some friends may still not understand why they need to upgrade their Echo Coins additionally. Wouldn't it be better to use the TV's own speaker? Then I will put a set of A8000 Donpa and Sony TV5 series here, to experience the difference between the two. BYBW D6. The influence of Sony TV weapons is limited by the hardware structure of the fuselage. Although it is a good performance in similar TVs, but it still looks very flat in front of the A8000. After connecting to the Sony A8000, the overall sound quality has been improved by more than one notch in an instant. The low frequency reduction is more powerful, and the vocals are clearer and more transparent. The body field coverage is more three-dimensional. So if you want to have a better viewing quality, you have to do it. The TV is paired with an excellent response coin. This time we paired the A8000 with this SW3 set subwoofer and the new RS8 rear surround. That's also quite particular. SW3 subwoofer. Although as a product of 2021, but it can still play in terms of bass performance. The 6.5-inch woofer and 200W output power are still not allowed. Community. We use professional EM6 microphones, paired with sound card and open-source audio testing software. IW tested the gear foam and the A8000 with SW3. You can see that. In addition, after SW3, there will be a significant peak of 30 in the frequency band of 40 Hz. There is a very obvious increase in low-frequency drop and dynamics in the 60 Hz range. The ultra-low frequency performance has been significantly enhanced. Let's listen to the specific differences. BYBW D6. Sauce. Hot sauce. Everybody wants the bung kandu know what's about. BYBW D6. Sauce hot sauce everybody wants some. As for the choice of rear loop, the i13s is a 21-year-old model. Compared with the i18 hardware configuration, it is relatively concave. The i18 has two more channels. The appearance is also more refined. So, I suggest that in the end you can still choose 18. We also recorded two driver sound effects with and without rear surround. Let's listen to the difference. The fully armed A8000 will indeed be selectively improved compared to the Bulletmaster. More solid low frequencies can bring a stronger sense of immersion. The sense of space of the three-dimensional body is also more automatic. Let me digress here. If you only have enough budget to buy one of the first guns or the rear surround, then I still recommend the first shot. As for the surround effect A8000's built-in stereo elongation speakers, in fact, I think it can also meet daily use. The first PK of this video is about to begin. The Sony A8000 versus the Samsung Q990F. Compare the hardware configurations of the two welcome coins. Sony A8000 has 11 speakers units. Samsung Q99F has 13 speaker types. The two remain basically the same, and they all adopt a double screen design. The Sony SW3 is a 6.5-inch woofer on the subwoofer. Samsung uses a newly upgraded dual 8-inch subwoofer from the paper data. The Sony A8000 is slightly inferior to the Samsung Q990F. But what is it really like? Let's take a look at the performance of the two group photo coins in the evaluation curve. In terms of the performance of the screen, the Samsung Q90F's double-octave bass cover does bring better tone. Sony A8000 will have a significant drop at 20 to 30 Hz. The bass performance will be slightly off. After all, the hardware configuration of SW3 is there. The peaks and smoothness of the Sony A8000 at 40 to 60 Hz result in a relatively better one. The performance of the two in the mid-frequency is not much different. In the high-frequency band, the 5 kHz and 20 kHz Sony A8000 will be better than Samsung. Let's verify whether it is as described in the evaluation curve. Let's compare the personnel performance. In December, the Arctic Circle enters the polar industry. Even on the edge of the Earth, the ancient nature still hides the true cultivation of wisdom and endless wind disturbances. In December, the Arctic Circle enters polar night. Even on the edge of the Earth, the ancient nature still contains the true cultivation of wisdom and endless abundance. I wanted to hold her hand gently, my mother told me. I hoped to see the sun come out, and my mother smiled. I wanted to hold her hand tightly, my mother told me. I hoped to see the sun come out, and my mother smiled. In both of these, I turned on their own voice and augmentation technology. For the personal performance at low frequencies, the third-line Q990F is properly prostituted. It did not give full play to its own low-frequency advantages. The human mixing feeling is slightly inferior to that of the Sozero A8000. The Sony A8000 vocal tuning is more integrated into the documentary. It restores the atmosphere at that time. And in the song Dawn, in high-frequency songs with better high-frequency performance, the human body should be more transparent and delicate. The personal background is separated. The layering of A8000 is more obvious. Let's take a look at the performance of the two in the low frequency of the surrounding three-dimensional elongation. Cut off those windows. This section has stereo sounds of low-frequency cannon sounds, explosions, and bullet composition. In the movie, the two echo coins have their own advantages and disadvantages. The Sony A8000 is still a low-frequency cannon and explosion. It is also used to combine Samsung QG90F. The depth of the dive is slightly inferior to that of the Samsung Q99F. But on the three-dimensional deep road, Sony's 360 Intelligent Pour Boat produces this software with bullets. The ring effect from all directions will be significantly clearer than that of Samsung Q99F. As for high-frequency performance, this time we chose a passage with the sound of glass breaking for comparison. And shards off glass stray lover head just before Gravita take a shoal glass break. You'll hear slight libata redan bruised baseball fly past the houri. Curious a cloud off de briz bloom sand shards off glass stray lover head. At the moment when the glass was shattered, Sony's high-frequency sound will be sharper, simply more real. Coupled with the effect of moving from left to right, Sony's positioning is clearer. Orientation can be accurately captured. Samsung was a little blurry, and then there were various sounds of glass expansion. Sony still maintains good high-frequency detail, and the sound graininess is clear. This also correctly reflects the test results of the front screen box curve. The high-frequency performance of the A8000 is clearer and more obvious. To sum up these two echo coins, the Sony A8000 is not as good as Samsung in terms of hardware configuration. In the case of Q99F, with Sony's excellent acoustic tuning, the overall hearing of the technology should be more obvious. A8000 sound details in the mid and high frequency bands. It will also be more prominent in terms of hearing. Background. The three-dimensional sense of the surrounding God and the space umbrella will also be more obvious. Samsung is shocking at low frequencies. The performance surpasses Sony A8000. This is also the benefit brought by Samsung's dual 8D hard bubble tweed. In terms of life conditions, the two stations responded with different tuning methods. Friend, which one do you like? Next, we look at the higher-end Sony HDA9000. This time, we equipped it with the current top SW5D silver cannon and RS5 rear surround. Let's take a look at how a single response coin compares to a full set of LCL curves. You can see in our table that there is a subwoofer and a rear ring. The boxing performance of the A9000 has a better dive at low frequencies, and the sense of energy should be more powerful. The mid-frequency stage is not much different. A full set of a 9000 at high frequencies will be more stable than a single fair coin. Let's listen to the difference between a full set of a 9000 and a single bar. Imhurt the towel of the tiger killing secret. Imhurt tiger kill tiger kill tiger kill tiger kill tiger kill tiger kill tiger. Tiger kill tiger kill tiger kill tiger kill tiger kill. Imhurtio when abuti aniva jet cause imhurt. Imhurt. I marry mer. Let's take a look at the hardware configuration first. Sonya 9000 Dandad has 13 speaker units. After adding the SW5 and IS5, it reaches 20 speakers. Unit. In total, the Soundbar 1300 MKII has 27 speakers. The terrifying peak power of the equivalent number of units has arrived. 2740W. This can be said to be the number of Putua, the monster. Judging from the paper parameters alone, JBL is indeed suppressed in front of the hardware. But the sound performance still depends on you to hear it yourself. Let's compare it further. We also test the evaluation curve of the JBL 1300 MK2. Through instrument testing, we can see that in the performance of the GP screen, the performance of the Sony A9000 actually slightly surpassed JBL's 1300 MK. This does confuse me, but in the range of 100 to 20 Hz, the most necessary stability will be better than the A9000. It means that the line tightness of the low and mid-frequency JPL should be stable. As for the high-frequency band, the peak and stability of the Sony A9000 will be better than that of JPL. What does this mean? In high-frequency hearing, maybe the Sony A9000 is a little better. Then let's compare the treatment of life first. How did the two echoes perform? Is your name fake? The identity of the school is also fake. Parents are also fake, right? How many secrets do you think you still have? How many lies have been told? We are sincere to you, but you have deceived our family. Brain. In this period, I have a life and I take the low-frequency atmosphere as the depth of the tragedy. The 1300 key still has some minor problems with APL. Mid-frequency vocals are eaten up by low-frequency background sounds. Vocal clarity feels a bit lacking. There will be no such problem on the Sony A9000 side. The separation of the two is clearer. In terms of voice tuning, the Sony A9000 will also sound more crisp and transparent. JBO has its own style. It seems relatively low. Let's continue to compare the performance of low frequencies and ring sounds. In Dolby Atmos like Ready Player One, JBL's explosive low-frequency shock will indeed be better than Sony's. After all, the hardware specifications are much higher, but due to the problem of bass tuning, there are still some sound details that have been overwritten. Sony A9000 not only ensures the shock of bass at the same time, more of the soundstage is also preserved. Details. Slight sounds will actually be heard more clearly. The sense of separation is better. As for the production of surroundings, Sony in the process of collecting gold coins, the change in direction from the sides to the front is very obvious. There is also a three-dimensional sense of vehicles flying from the rear that exceeds JBL 1300 MK2. JBL. Even sometimes you don't have to stop. Hear the change in the direction of this sound clearly. To certify this, we played another audio test point to test it. Subtitles provided. Excellent and exclusive broadcast. You can hear a picture of the sound field turned on in the capital. 1300 MK2 when your soundstage shifts to the rear. There will be some noticeable weakening of the Sony. The IS5 still maintains a high volume. This is why the ring effect of the Sony A9000 will be better than A1300 MK2. Let's listen to this performance of value stocks. Mainly compare high-frequency sounds. In performances like this kind of high-frequency fun, the Sony A9000 will be crisper and sharper. The metal sensor with the edge is a little more realistic than the 1300 MKII sounds. And the sound doesn't sound harsh and layered. The sound of this waste will be a little blurry. Speaking of which, let's listen to these two echo coins again. In complex environments, what will happen to the degree of pregnancy to sound information? A movie like Alita full of fight sounds and background sounds. You can hear such a gap. Sony A9000 to gunshots. The sound of metal objects colliding and special effects. It will be a little more obvious than ABL. The separation between the main channel and the background sound is still very strong. JBL now this software I feel like I still need to wait for it to be upgraded. It can give full play to its hardware advantages. But it still doesn't feel enough now. Let's listen to how the two echo coins perform in the game. First of all, in the process of the game, Sony supports HDMI 2.1 or traditional HDMI 2.0. HDMI 2.1 for next-generation games. It must be higher than this 2.0, which is considered a company in the industry. What if they can tread? We'll make drawings. Yana like ifu tripping goverayer and Thina bike fire. He might have picked up some stragglers. He may have done it for a while, and he will do it for a while. It will be a while. It will be a while. It will be a while. The direction in which the Sony A9000 speaks to the characters in the game. I feel that the positioning is very accurate. As for other subtle sound performances, for example, footsteps, the sound of landing and so on, the resolution of the Sony A9000 is clearer. At this point, we can make a summary of the Sony A9000 set of self-esteem number 9555. Low, medium, and high frequencies can be said to be comprehensive coverage. Whether it is physical performance, facing adjustment, or surround three-dimensional, the body is at this price. Current top level. Sony itself is not a manufacturer that relies on stacking materials. Instead, it relies on precise tuning and high quality. Configure time to reverse some stack monsters. This combination is still watching movies and soft games. Or listen to music, you can reach a very good level. We are talking about some of the experience of using it. The new plant look of the Sony A8000 and A9000 can guarantee us that we are in the world. There will be no obvious reflection when watching TV on a daily basis. Samsung and JB22 flagship products, although this material is good looking, there will still be some slight negative problems. May affect your daily viewing. As for Sony's Bariva Connect app on our mobile phones, it is the three brands that are more powerful in function. There are various sound setting functions inside, which can directly adjust the sound. The format and so on are relatively clear. Samsung's M actually provides many function keys, but the visual estimate will be less than Sony. JBO is the least of the three brands, and splitting it feels a bit confusing when I can use it. And in the linkage experience of box and TV, both Sony and Samsung Echo Coin can be linked to this TV ecosystem. You can adjust the parameters and functions of some Echo Coins directly on the TV. And after all, there is no TV here, so we can skip this aspect directly. Some of the functions connected here. Samsung Q990F provides 3 HDMI 2.1 Sunya 8000 and A9000 are both 2 HDMI 2.1. Can also meet the needs of the game. The CPU provides 4 HDMI 2.0. If you give the overall user experience of these 3 TB brands a name, my own experience is the number 1 in my heart. Samsung can be ranked second JBO, and can be ranked third in my new home. Of course, these 3 brands are in cash and coins. Kings. I think it's good to buy any brand. Sony A8000 as Sony's high-end flagship. The price of the mixed-coin single bar is around 5K. The price is relatively friendly. The expansion of the room is also relatively expandable. Watch the video carefully. The price of this set is about 9K. This price ratio is okay. Coupled with Sony's consistent excellent vocal and vocal length tuning, the overall listening experience is quite pleasant. I just don't know when Sony will release a new high-end subwoofer, although SW3 is still difficult to play. Of course, we still expect manufacturers to release stronger products. And this year, the A9000 will not be regarded as the top flagship hung coin low heavy and high frequency. Full coverage of super hardware configuration and excellent sound tuning. Can be said that there is no rival in the same church. The same goes for the Sony A9000 Plus RS5 and SW5 configurations. The strongest configuration in Sony mixed coin at present. The announced price is about 14,000. Can only be said that you get what you pay for. It's expensive. There must be a reason for that. The above is all the review and comparison content of this video. See you in the next video.